and Mr. Marc. We've got Marc paring out the inside walls of his bat axe saw to assure a slip fit with the plate and back assembly. Over here we got Deanna is hammer setting one of her back saws that she brought here to the course using the set tolerances displayed on the saw filer's chart to achieve the correct amount of set using the Seymour Smith hammer set. Over here we've got Jeff. He has just retoothed his plate that he too is his vintage saw plate. Like Deanna, he's gonna set those teeth and sharpen them. We've got Tom over here who has quite successfully, sharpened his D23 that he brought to the seminar. It's at 8 points per inch, and now he's getting the handle back on, about ready to do a tusk cut. And we've got Richard over here doing the same. He has just retoothed and he's about to set and sharpen his D23. And of course, got Mike over here hammer setting. So everybody here on day 4 is putting into practice everything that they've learned here at the seminar, and it's always a joy for me to watch them work independently like this, putting into practice everything that they've learned. And you know, the very first thing we do in order of operations after assessment is to clean the plate. We got Mike over here marking and setting his D23 plate. And Marc and I are about to handle his bat axe saw here on this drill press with a tungsten carbide drill bit. Those things aren't cheap, but that's what you gotta have to drill through spring steel. And here we are on day 5. We're drilling handles onto our bat axe saws, deburring the holes. We got some hammer smithing going on over here with Marc. Dina is setting one of her soft plates that she brought here to the class, and she's successfully pulling off sharpening 13 PPI based on a desired set. Mike's over there reshaping his tooth line on a distant D23 he brought over. And man alive, everybody's on it. Richard's over here tusk cutting his bat axe saw he just made. So, day 5, Friday morning, it's all good here at the Marc Adams School of Woodworking. Real proud of these guys for the skills that they are so independently employing right now.
Okay.
It's the
order of operations. So adding the cleaning step, which will be covered in one of the other 21 learning objectives. From there, we'll clean it, get all the gunk off, get the rust off, and won't get into the details of the process. From there, we're going to shape the saw, which...
What we're doing right now is our after-action review at the end of the course here mid-morning on day 5. Each student takes about 3 or 4 topics out of the 21 terminal learning objectives identified and presents them to the class, engages the class, uses the training aids and the tools and the materials to get the points across. There's 21 of these terminal learning objectives, and that's what we're going through right now.
And if I just, there, I felt it move, that's enough to then check it again.
Okay.
And in fact, I think you talked about it, Marc, but the human finger, the touch on your fingertips is so accurate that you can make a gauge and feel under, 1,000 difference with your fingertips. It's amazing what your fingertips can do. And then you would repeat with the front. Again, pinching the same way, and make sure you feel that move. And that's when you know you put tension on it. And then sight down there and make sure that you see it. If it had a little bit of
the way we normally would do, with this position here with my thumb up here, cramming down on it to where it's set in the gullet, the way it should. And went through the whole saw again, both sides.
To the hammer. For the medium approach, make sure that the teeth, that you're not hitting the teeth. To keep the teeth off the anvil. And the same thing, use the convex part of it, use the anvil, take your fingers. This is a little bit lighter touch to it. Now what we're doing is we're rearranging the grain. Believe it or not, there's a grain in metal that I didn't know about.
And you adjust your setting tool device to obtain that bend in the tooth. And there's two different kinds. There's the hammer type, which I personally like best, or the other type where you squeeze.
Why don't you demonstrate those?
Pardon me?
Why don't you demonstrate those?
Yeah, and yeah, it's right there. Well, when I look at it and I squeeze as hard as I can squeeze, it seems to me that the tooth
Demonstrate.
comes back. There's an anvil in here, and you set the bevel to whatever set you want, the angle, the degree of set you want. But when I look at it and squeeze as hard as I can squeeze, yeah, the tooth bends over, but when you release your grip, the tooth has a tendency to come back. And I just really don't have much luck with one of these myself. I would much rather,
Against the fence, you've got it pressing down, and you've got it clamped in there tight, it's not going anywhere. But once you get to the end, you just want to be careful, but you should know by then where that hammer is going to strike. And so you can say, well, this is too much. You know, you don't want to bend the plate, you don't want to kink it. You don't want to mash the tip, right? So you'll say, okay, that break line should be right about there, and then that's where you're going to strike it. So you're going to hold it with one hand, and then you're going to strike.
Go ahead and hit a tooth or two.
So you've got it marked up, you've got a nice, it's not going anywhere, and you just want to give it a good, and when you're hitting, you don't want to mash it because you don't want tin foil. You want to go with a nice pressure, and you're going to listen for that sound. Is that hammer ascending or is it descending? You want to keep it straight. That's how you operate these.
The goal when you do it is to have as much of the file as possible placed on the saw, so you don't want to just be going like this. So you want, just like you're running it through a joiner. And the way the joiner works is it has a long bed and that little cutter in the middle, so it's staying flat. You're just wanting to hold it, and when you come off at the end, you don't want to go down, you just want to lift up as you come off the end. So, long finger fork. That didn't work quite right. We'll do it again. And maybe another one. So, when you're doing that, you're raising flat, two things. In order to get all of those teeth to the same height, you're taking the high points or creating flats on a lot of the teeth that were higher. So the goal when you're done is to have the tops of all of your
Radiusing out your gullet.
Exactly.
Which would be bad.
Would you just capture that once more about how you know you've got the right sized file?
So you want the file to be twice width here of the slope of the tooth.
Okay.
At least, but not too big. Yeah, so.
What about sizing guides?
So on the Saw Filer's reference chart, there's a very handy file sizing, and that's for it's gone now. Frederick Dick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Files.
Would you cover the regular slim and all that and the geometry of the file?
So depending on your points per inch, if you said I'm doing a 9, then you would come and grab a 6-inch extra slim. And that would be but again, you can always double check. If you bought a slightly different file than this will tell you kind of Frederick Dick, but you can also, again, reference that double size of the slope. And you can see it here. Kind of shows you the sizes. Questions?
Are all the files the same?
No.
Are they the same? Okay, perfect.
So there are certain ones that you would want to get that are much better quality. We did an example, right, where we took a common Nicholson and the quality of the teeth. Something is happening, they've not heat treated it properly. So when you
And so ends our 5-day seminar at the Marc Adams School of Woodworking. I have to tell you, the best part of these seminars are absolutely the people. They come from all walks of life. You know, we had a guy that ran fiber optical cable, a biological research scientist, a policewoman from East Bay. We even had an engineer from Rivian. And they all bring different skills, different talents, and they all become friends by the end of the day. And they become my friends too. You know, what we all share in common, no matter who you are in the hand tool industry and what kind of woodworking you like to do, we all share one thing in common, and that is an absolute dedication for excellence in everything we do. I'll talk to you later. This has been Marc at Saw Sharp. Hang out. Come pay me a visit sometime. We'll get you to sharpen up your own dang saw.